Yo, yo. Hey, yeah. All right, guys. Got mock draft volume 2 coming at you guys right now. Like literally at 12:22 a.m. right now. It's your boy Foots the King. Just got done watching the national championship versus with LSU, featuring LSU versus Clemson. What a game. Prospects all over the field. T. Higgins, Justin Jefferson, uh, Isaiah Simmons, the whole nine. Um, obviously Joe Burrow, who you just listen. If I'll be honest, and this will probably piss Cowboys fans off, I listen. If I could trade 2 1s to get an elite talent at quarterback, somebody who the foot quickness in the pocket, the ability to throw off different platforms, the body control in the pocket, the awareness in the pocket. Listen, he's not some, Lamar Jackson type athlete, but he has pocket awareness. Is either you have it or you don't. He's never flustered. He showed that tonight against Clemson. And it helps, to have Jamar Chase on the outside and Justin Jefferson, Moss, the whole nine. His running back 22 is really good as well. But the whole point is, man, Joe Burrow is really, really good. Like, listen, Cincinnati has a player. Andy Dalton can't tie Joe Burrow's shoes. But we're gonna get to this whole mock draft just to kind of recap. LSU blew Clemson's doors off. I mean, Clemson made it close early. Clemson even had the lead early, but LSU figured it out. Joe Burrow never panicked, and it was cool because I was actually able to wait to do this mock. I got everything written down, so I'll be able to kind of go on the fly. You guys can hear the notes with every pick that I have. So even with me using this mock draft, similar to which I encourage you guys, if you guys want to do a mock draft, man, go to the Draft Network. It's really cool, really realistic. Their big board is really realistic, so you can go do your own mock draft and kind of, what would you do more or less in some of these situations that teams get into, and then recapping the NFL playoff action this weekend. You got Tennessee, who nobody gave a chance to but me. If you follow me on Twitter and social media, you know that I really, really like Tennessee. I like the way they're coached. I like their grittiness, and I knew that they can match Baltimore's physicalness. Houston obviously has Bill O'Brien, so what do? They play not to lose, and they lost. I'm not sure how good Kansas City really is, but when you're coached like that, you're probably going to lose football games. And then Aaron Rodgers survived Seattle, which that was a good football game. And then you just see Kirk Cousins get swallowed up by that San Francisco defensive line. So we got a lot of action, and it's cool because that really affected the back half of the draft. You look at a team like Baltimore, who may need a weapon on the outside. You look at a team like Minnesota, who obviously needs O-line help. So you guys will see some cool things that I did with this mocker. Now, a couple things about me. When it comes to my mock drafts, I like to think of it as this, and this has always been my philosophy. I'm gonna go best player available, but I'm also keeping in mind, right? I'm keeping in mind that some of these picks won't be realistic for some of these teams, because the fact of the matter is a lot of these teams draft players without a plan. And I'll give you an example. Last year, all you heard was DK can't run routes. DK Metcalf is going to be a bust in the league, this, that, and the third. Seattle drafted him with a plan. He came out rookie year one, had an amazing year. Pete Carroll drafted him, put him in a good situation with a great quarterback, that is Russell Wilson. Came out, had a great rookie year. So my thinking, and I wish that talent evaluators married their ideas with scheme and with how to fit some of these guys into their scheme, but unfortunately that just doesn't happen, and there's always going to be a disconnect in a lot of these front offices, more or less, when it comes to the coaching side of things versus the scout side of things. You have to be able to marry both. Hopefully these teams can do that, but a lot of them, quite frankly, won't. So here we go. with the first pick in the draft, nothing's gonna change. Joe Burrow's going to the Bengals. Quite frankly, the easiest pick in this draft to make. You saw it tonight. Just a stud quarterback. I said what I had to say about him. I'm not going to change that. I honestly think he's better than Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence has to fix some of his accuracy issues. A lot of balls flooded on him tonight. And he could be, a product of that Clemson system where you saw Burrow in a real pro-style system and he was able to make throws. The Skins get Chase Young easy there. In the first draft, I went ahead and gave the Skins Jeff Okudah. This draft, I'm going ahead and giving the Skins Chase Young. They can't go wrong with either one. Here's the thing about Chase. I want to see how he plays the run more consistently. You see Nick Bosa, and you see him be able to play the run, change the game as a run defender and a pass defender. So I want to see if Chase can do that on a consistent basis. The Skins are obviously thinking about switching back to a 4-3, so I think that does. I think to me that suits what Chase Young does well. So in that, you get Chase Young with Ron Rivera. This pick has to be defense. Ron Rivera is a defensive guy. I think Chase Young makes a lot of sense here. Here we go. So I got Derek Brown now, to the Lions. This is really where the draft starts. The draft starts at 3. Watch Tua here. What do you mean, Foots? Watch Tua. Watch Tua here. I don't know how much longer Matt Stafford has in a Lions uniform. And crazier things have happened. Also, don't be surprised if somebody falls in love with Tua and has to secure their guy and tries to jump Miami. So keep an eye on that. But right now, for this draft and for the sake of this, exercise, I gave the Lions Derek Brown. Just an awesome player. Jumps off film. I think it makes a lot of sense. And of course, talking about making a lot of sense, if Jeff Okudah is still on the board at 4, because I think he's that good. Listen, you can make a case that he could go 2. He's just that good of a corner. DeAndre Baker played okay. He struggled at times. Drafting him. The Eli Apple pick was a dud. So now you need to come back. You just lost Norris Jenkins as well. You need to come back. You need to get a corner. And I think that Jeff Okudah, if he's here at 4, it makes a whole lot of sense. Now, at 5 for the Dolphins, this is where Tua happens, okay? This is where Tua comes off the board. And it's kind of sad that people have forgotten how good Tua Tagovailoa is. He's really Russell Wilson. Smart, dedicated, focused. The injury issues. But I still can't pass on that type of talent if I'm Miami. You turned your season around. It kind of looks like, Flores is actually like a decent coach. Surprisingly, was able to turn his season around, and shout out to him for not the whole tank for Tua, this, that, and the third. It honestly worked out for the better because you're still gonna probably have a chance to get to it, and you showed that you didn't have to throw a season. Like that's BS. You don't take for a draft pick. These guys aren't guaranteed. You go out there and you play football. I think that they did an amazing job. To me that was beautiful. The fact that Flores was able to rip off some wins, I think that was awesome. Jedrick Wills here. He is my tackle 1. I know a lot of people like Andrew Thomas. I like Wills better. I think he has more power, and I think he's frankly a better athlete. I don't know what the Chargers are going to do at quarterback, though. So that is a position to watch. Herbert could be in play here. But right now I gave them Jedrick Wills. I think that he makes a lot of sense. Now, here's one that may surprise some people. I'm going to Panthers, and I'm going Justin Herbert, all right? I don't know where the Panthers are with Cam Newton, but I think with Matt Rule and, young coach, I think you need to get him a young quarterback, and I think you need to let them two grow together. Matt Rule was able to turn that Baylor program around in 3 years? Has a lot of energy. Get him a quarterback. Herbert was up and down, but towards the end of the season, I started to make myself like Herbert. Now, Oregon quarterbacks scare me. We just saw Ryan Tannehill take one's job. So, I'm not saying that he's a surefire hit, but he does some things running the ball. He has a live arm. Justin Herbert has a live arm. Um, and it was kind of weird. Like DJ Moore really had like 1,000 yards, so he has pieces. Obviously, he has one of the best running backs, if not the best two-way running back in the league with Christian McCaffrey. So you get Justin Herbert, those you bring him in with those weapons, he can do some things. Here goes me turning the page because I got my eloquent notes written down. So to me, yeah, Justin Herbert, he makes a lot of sense for the Panthers. I know some people will say, no, that's not the pick there, but I kind of like it there. Here we go. Now, Jerry Jeudy to Arizona makes a lot of sense for me because now you give Kyler help, all right? Give him a weapon. You don't know what's going to happen with Larry Fitz. You could also draft a lineman here. But to me, it's one of those things is like, give or take. Where is, I want to say Lincoln Riley. I'm so glad Dallas didn't draft Lincoln Riley. Like, my Lord. What do the Cardinals want to do here? Do you want to continue to build on Kyler Murray in that offense and throw the ball all over the field? Or do you kind of want to play more power? So I think Jerry Jeudy can hit a need. I think interior lineman can hit a need, but I don't see one with the value of a Jeudy here. So I want Jeudy. Now, here's where Andrew Thomas comes off the board. Cam Robinson has just been awful. He has. I mean, it's been a disaster for him. Go out there, play left tackle, play right tackle. Just go play tackle. Help that offensive line get better, Andrew Thomas. I think that he does that. Now, Tristan Wirfs to me has climbed, and I love it. And I love it. If you're going to stick with Baker, you got to protect him. You saw Baker at times just flat out get antsy, and it's because the offensive line was bad. He has weapons, okay? Now you need to get him protected. I personally would like to get his face protected, but you just can't pass on, when I say face, that inside rush, but there just isn't a guard here worth taking. I think Wirfs can play some guard, but he's a tackle in the league. Get him out on that against those edge rushers, those good rushers in the AFC North, and let's see if we can make another run at this with Baker. Now, obviously, Baker has to do some growing up, but you could probably speed up that process by protecting. Now, here's probably going to be, for sure, the first, without question, the first controversial pick of the draft. I'm going Laviska Shenault here for my mock. And I'll tell you why. The dude is just a freaking playmaker. It instantly helps Sam Darnold out. Get him just a flat-out dog, okay? I don't throw that word around lightly. Laviska Shenault is a dog. I watched him at Colorado all year. He can play receiver. He can play some running back. He's just a mismatch nightmare, and he is excellent after the catch. He really is Deebo Samuel, okay? Maybe not as powerful, but more twitch. Some people will say, no, go Henry Woods. No, go this. I love Laviscus because I love what he does for you with the ball in his hand. I like him more than CeeDee Lamb. I like him more than Ruggs. I like him more than Higgins. I really think he's my wide receiver too. He's just my playmaker too. So that's me thinking outside the box. Okay. I'm going Laviska Shenault, to the Jets. Now, this one makes a lot of sense. Isaiah Simmons, you watched him tonight all over the field. You saw him playing safety. You saw him playing defensive end. You saw him playing middle linebacker. Just a freak athlete. To me, pick makes sense. Continue to build on that Oakland defense. That's what a smart John Gruden would do. Now, a dumb John Gruden would probably go draft a receiver here. No. Okay? Get this defense better. Him, Jonathan Abrams. Now you have true speed all over the field. True athletic ability all over the field. I think it makes a lot of sense. Listen, if Dallas could somehow get their hands on Isaiah Simmons, you just don't see body types like his that are able to run like he does and that have the awareness and also the toughness. It's a really, really good situation. Here we go. The Colts get Yater Gross-Matos. It's just a Colts pick to me. Edge player from Penn State. Had really good production. Try hard kind of guy, but also makes plays as well. So I like the pick there. 14. Tampa Bay gets Grant Delpit. Now this is where I gave the Dallas to Grant. I gave the I gave the Cowboys Grant Delpit last week. So for the sake of switching it up, and it hits a need for Tampa Bay, I think that Grant Delpit could really be an instant playmaker. Listen, he caused a fumble tonight, and that's what I meant. All over the field, playmakers were all over the field, and Grant Delpit was one of those. He had kind of a down year this year, more or less, but I still love him. I still think that his ceiling could be Jalen Ramsey. But you got to tell me what scheme he's in. What scheme, and how are you going to use Delpit? I really, really like him. Okay, guys, here we go. CeeDee Lamb to the Broncos makes a lot of sense. Now you give Drew Lock, who came on late. All right, Drew Lock has a whip of an arm. Came on late at the end of the season. Him, Cortland Sutton. Let these guys grow together, okay? Let these guys, him, Phillip Lindsay, Cortland Sutton, Drew Lock, let these guys grow together. Let these guys get better, and you can kind of recreate some of that magic that Denver once had. It wasn't too long ago when Denver was like a really stout team. John Elway made some mistakes. Hopefully he's, learned from those and is able to let a player like Drew Lock grow, get better. Had his, shortcomings Drew Lock has in college. Kind of didn't take care of the ball the way you would like to, but the arm strength is just something that honestly you can't teach. Here we go. Atlanta gets, I don't want to get him. Here we go. Atlanta gets Javon Kinlaw. Okay, so this guy, the size and athleticism at that defensive tackle position is just too good, man. I really wouldn't be mad if the Cowboys drafted him. Now, you got to have a plan and how you want to use him, but I know Dan Quinn wants to play defense. It just makes a lot of sense here, and I think that it hits a need that, Atlanta needs to me, Atlanta needs to play, they need to play better defense, more or less. They need to, they need to stop the run, okay, and they need to have more attitude. He definitely is an attitude pick for me. I really, really like this pick for Atlanta. Like I said, I would give him to Dallas just because that athleticism at that size just makes a whole lot of sense. All right, guys, here's the pick for the Cowboys. Watching film on Xavier McKinney, guys, I see attitude. I really see Darnell Savage, somebody who just jumped up draft boards towards the end of the process because of you were able to get him on the whiteboard. He had the attitude, he had the film. So even though he went to like a Maryland, you saw the hip turn, you saw the playmaking ability, and that's the exact same thing that you see with Xavier McKinney. I love this player. I think that he is, first of all, his freshman year he was playing some slot. Okay, so that tells me that the coverage ability is there, but then when you watch the attitude in which he tackles, now, doesn't always want to crank you, but early on in games, he gonna come down, he gonna hit you. He really reminds me of like a mix of Eddie Jackson and Mark Barron, and you put those two together. Has the coverage ability of Eddie Jackson, doesn't crunch quite as well as Mark Barron, but he's physical. I have a buddy who's a real big Alabama fan. Was like, yo, he would be a great pick for you guys. That's not me. Again, that's not me saying that, he is the next Darren Woodson. But you look at Mike McCarthy, Cowboys' new coach. He will draft a safety high. All right. Did it with another Alabama player. So it makes a lot of sense. Will Clay likes Alabama players. He likes big school guys. So, again, it makes a lot of sense. And I just think that for the value you're getting at 17, you're probably going to have, safety 1A, 1 and 1A available. Tight end 1 and 1A available. I think that you can get by with Jarwin. I like Heath, but we need to upgrade Heath. So if Delpit, Xavier McKinney if those type players are around, then I think it's a no-brainer. Dallas has to turn the card in. All right, here we go, guys. Moving right along, man. This has been a great mock draft so far. The rhythm is really, really good, and I'm really liking the way that this board is sitting. Here we go. The Dolphins get DeAndre Swift, just a playmaker. Gives you that Alvin Kamara type vibe. Catch the ball out of the backfield. excellent speed, excellent twitch, and losing Kenyon Drake, I think that he hits a need that, the Dolphins now they've built, a nice little team for the future. You got Tua sitting, okay, waiting for Fitzmagic to run out, because it just never seems to run out. And then now you have a DeAndre Swift that just, it makes a lot of sense for me, more or less. Okay, guys, I'm going to probably make a lot of Clemson fans even more mad, because guess what? I'm giving the Las Vegas Raiders, I probably called them Oakland in the first segment when I gave turning Oakland's pick, Las Vegas's pick. That's going to take me a while. I'm giving the Las Vegas Raiders Justin Jefferson. Listen, I gave him a Steve Smith comp, and tonight when he ran somebody over versus Clemson, I looked even more smart. I just like his story. I do. I just think he's a hard worker. He came into school as like a no-star recruit. Came in, worked, outplayed the competition, and now he's a national champion. He's going to fly up draft boards because he runs routes so well. He just catches the ball. So just makes a lot of sense. Here we go. Jacksonville getting Trayvon Diggs. Listen, they lost Jalen Ramsey. Lost one good corner. Probably need to replace him with another good corner, who probably won't be the headache that that Jalen Ramsey was coming from Alabama. I used to not always be so high on these Alabama players coming into the league, but you've kind of seen now that some of these guys, when they get in the league, they come in there making plays. Eddie Jackson comes to mind. Those Alabama D linemen, Jonathan Allen, they came in with the skins. They were able to, contribute. So for a while, it was kind of like, is it Saban? Is it them? Nah, they come in and they're kind of ready to play. So I think that he makes a lot of sense. Trayvon Diggs, he's not a corner one right away, but when you start getting to 18, 19, 20 in the draft, depending on who you ask, I think that this draft class, when we got to let the process happen, okay? No Senior Bowl yet, no combine, no none of that. But usually a draft only has, to be honest with you, 18 and 19 first round grades. So when you think of it like that, now you start hitting on need. Now you start hitting on, okay, what and how do I get this guy into my program, into my system, and how does it make sense? So that's me. I'm sure you guys are gonna argue and have your reasons for it, and that's okay. Let's just keep it respectful, first and foremost. But give me like legit reasons. Don't come in my comment box with no BS, y'all. I'm dead serious, for real. Like, okay, here we go. Philly. Damn, Philly. Y'all just got a certified dog, man. Henry Ruggs is crazy. Like, his speed is really scary. And it gives Wentz a weapon. Listen, the Deshaun Jackson reunion was cool, except he played literally like 2 games and collected a check, which is like, that's not gonna work. But Henry Ruggs is Deshaun Jackson, probably with better run after the catch ability. He's so fast. It's scary. I think that would be a great pick for Philly. It's obvious. They need receivers, period. The Aguilar experiment is over. He had like a decent year, but he's back to being sorry as crap. So get a good receiver in there. I think Henry Ruggs, he answers the call for you guys. Now, this pick makes so much sense for the Buffalo Bills. T. Higgins, big body for, Josh Allen with that cannon of an arm, who I really was impressed with him this year. Just has to continue to grow. Like, it's okay. He has to continue to get better. Tom Brady's going to be out of the AFC East soon. If not next year, he probably won't be in the AFC East. So now, some of these young quarterbacks can finally get their rocks off. That probably wasn't the right thing to say, but you guys get what I'm saying. Some of these young quarterbacks can probably, start to turn up a little bit. Josh Allen, Sam Darnold. Like, if you're good and you're in the AFC East, it needs to show now. You really don't want to be losing to guys like Jarrett Stidham. Like, that's ridiculous. If you're losing to Jarrett Stidham, it's seriously. All right, guys, here we go. The Patriots get Cole Kmet. I thought about giving them a quarterback here, but I think the Patriots like Jarrett Stidham. watching him in the preseason, it makes a lot of sense. Throwing the ball around well. McDaniels kind of had him on a leash. So, I mean, listen, they could go quarterback. I don't know if they do. I feel like Bill may say, you know what? I want to coach a young guy and see if I can get the best out of him for a couple years. And if not, I'll just retire and I'll still be the best coach that ever did it, and nobody will tell me otherwise. All right, here we go. The Patriots got Cole Kmet. New Orleans gets C.J. Henderson, great cornerback from Florida. I've been watching him for 2 years. He's just a really, really good player. Ball skills, the whole nine, can run. Listen, if you're a high-level corner in the SEC, you're going to be fine in the league. I think he's going to be fine. And for whatever reason, this draft machine slept on Tennessee. I'm going to give my Tennessee pick. But guess what? I don't appreciate them sleeping on Tennessee. Tennessee can go out here and win this doggone Super Bowl, okay? I don't appreciate them sleeping on Tennessee, but you know what? They did, so I'm going to give them Clavon Chasen. Just a really, really good player. Off the edge, screams off the edge. He's special. He's really, really special. I think that he makes a lot of sense. I'm going to give Minnesota any old lineman that I can think of. Austin Jackson right now. They could get Lucas Nying, who I really like. Listen, any lineman, if you play line, you need to play for the Minnesota Vikings because their line got bullied by San Fran, who, listen, San Fran, they're kind of an anomaly because they are blessed by being sorry as crap for all these years. Okay? They've been sorry, and they have so many first-round picks on that line. Like, it was a matter of time before they started hitting, damn it. So, congrats, San Fran. You sucked for so long, so now you're able to call yourself a good team. You know, I'm just playing San Fran fans. Nah, I'm not like serious. But anyway, here we go. Miami gets Kenneth Murray, athletic linebacker, toughness. All right, Brian Flores. Now you put together a nice little draft. Makes a lot of sense for you all. Moving right along, Seattle gets KJ Hamler. Seattle gets KJ Hamler. And when you know it, this probably wasn't going to be my pick. It was going to be before tonight, and then a big game, and you see Terrell get absolutely cooked. Which you like, damn, I knew Jamar Chase was good, but, you know, AJ Terrell just got cookies. But I'm still going to give him to the Chiefs because the Chiefs do need corner help. So it would be between him and Kristen Fulton, and Kristen Fulton didn't do good. Now, if Derek Stingley was coming out, him and Okuda would be like, 1-1-8 as far as the best DBs in the draft, and they would have went way higher than these guys. But at the same time, Terrell played good all year. Fulton played good all year. It's just ironic that they both ended up getting picked on. But nonetheless, it was cool. It was cool to see them to get tested, because LSU's DBs haven't really been tested all year. Fulton was able to kind of bounce back. He could have been the pick here for Kansas City, but I gave them Terrell. I still like Terrell. He just had a bad game tonight, so hopefully it doesn't hurt his stock too much, but it could. You never know. Now, I'm going to do something that might mess some people's head up. I'm going to give Green Bay Jordan Love, and I'll tell you why. I think A-Rod is still the high level, but that high level could be turning soon. So who knows what Jordan Love could be. He has a big arm. Come in, sit, learn. Who's really going to learn from A-Rod? The guy thinks he invented football, but you never know. But I like this pick for them a lot. I think it makes a lot of sense. So we'll see. Right now, I didn't have San Fran and Baltimore in the Super Bowl, but this machine does. So I'm just gonna give them best available and just keep adding on to that defensive line rotation. AJ Espinoza, excuse me, Epinesa, AJ Epinesa. That's how you say Espinoza. What did I say? Espinoza? Epinesa. AJ Epinesa. He's really good. Iowa edge player. Try hard guy. But listen, when you're on a D-line like that, they'll put you in, go get to the cornerback. And then here, Brandon Carr is still playing cornerback for the Ravens, which to me makes absolutely no sense. So they get Christian Fulton, who can come in and probably do a better job than Brandon Carr. I'm willing to guess he would do a better job than Brandon Carr. So there goes my picks, you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment box. I thought this was a really good mock draft for the most part. I think this is really realistic, and it'll be cool that when the draft actually happens, I'll do one after the Senior Bowl. Not gonna do one after the Super Bowl, because these picks probably won't change. It'll kind of be the same needs. So I'll do one after the Senior Bowl. Then I'll hit one after the Combine, and I'll probably do a couple more if something crazy happens. Listen, Joe Burrow is going number 1 unless he shoots somebody on camera. And then they still might find a way to allow him to go number 1. So at the end of the day, the draft starts at 3. I think that teams could go a bunch of ways. I think that trades could happen. So it's going to be an exciting draft, which this draft looks to be really receiver strong, DB early strong, linebacker weak, interior lineman weak. So we'll see what happens. Guys always end up coming out of nowhere, but I'm pretty proud of this draft. So it's your boy Foots the King as always. I stayed up late for you guys trying to do this stalker mocker, volume 2. Cowboys get a playmaking safety with attitude. Let me know what you guys think. It's your boy Foots the King as always. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing.